Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to the Execute Regardless podcast. Quick explainer if you're just listening in for the first time. Really didn't want to make this fucking podcast today, not gonna lie. But it's in the name, Execute Regardless. You know, you guys are here. You're depending on me, I'm depending on you. We show up for each other. Today, this morning, just been a fucking one of those shit days. But it is what it is. We're fucking here. And I'm showing up for you guys. And that ties into today's topic. Let's get real about something. I want to ask you a question. So if you're listening for the first time, if you're wondering why the name of this podcast is called Execute Regardless, is because that's the fundamental difference between winning and losing. That's the only difference between winners and losers. So, as hard as it is, are we perfect? No, but we must strive to do it every fucking day. And I said I was going to at least hit 3 episodes this week, so I have to practice what I preach as well. But I have a question, so grab your coffee. Let's get into it. My question is to you. Have you ever, or are you right now in a position where you're working towards something, you know what you need to do, but you just haven't done it yet? First of all, answer that question. Do you know what you need to do, but you have not done it? That's the first thing. And if so, are you caught between a point where you know what you need to do, but you keep fucking changing, you keep reiterating, you keep saying, oh, it'll be ready when, I will do it when this condition happens. Oh, it could be better, I'm not ready yet. Let me ask you a question. When will you be ready? What will it take for you to be fucking ready? Right? Because for me, for years, I was the same. I was waiting on perfect. I suffered really bad from perfectionism. Still do, by the way. Executing regardless is harder than you fucking think. That's why most people fucking lose. Now, I spent a long time losing. And I want to save you the headaches, the grey hairs, the brain damage. Hence why I'm asking you this question, because we're going somewhere with it. I waited for perfect. I waited on the right time. It sounds fucking foolish when I say it out loud right now. It sounds kind of stupid. But I spent a long time, I think subconsciously, waiting on the fucking stars to align. More so looking out the window than looking at myself to see what was really going to move the fucking needle. Let me tell you what I discovered. I discovered after giving myself fucking brain damage, after giving myself grey hairs, after losing all my fucking money, my life going to shit, I discovered that perfect does not fucking exist. Perfect is never coming. Keep waiting on perfect, you'll be waiting forever. Alright? Wait for fucking perfect, you'll be waiting forever. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk to you about how to get off this treadmill that's going fucking nowhere. Legit. This treadmill that you're on, this limbo that you're in between these two things, execution and mental masturbation. This fucking treadmill, you're going nowhere. Because I don't mean that to fucking knock you. I'm here to just be real with you. Because I spent fucking 6.5 years on the treadmill. The mental masturbation treadmill. When I could have fucking started. And who knows? I probably could have fucking hit a home run way earlier. Right? And I want to help you get off that so you can get traction faster. Which means you can start to enjoy the thrill, which is something you have not experienced yet. The actual thrill of being in the trenches. That's actually more exciting than the outcome, because not only when I started doing this did everything change for me. It's funny, it's actually crazy. You know, you can spend so much time planning, but once you actually apply yourself, once you actually fucking push or knock the domino, everything starts to fucking fall, right? And, you know, in my life, that was a lot of business wins. That was a lot of wins with my health and so on. I'm not here to fucking say, oh, my dick's fucking bigger than your dick. I just have to reference what's going on in my life. Once I actually applied myself, once I started executing regardless, okay, I started making more money, I started looking better, my relationship improved, right? My environment improved. Just by applying myself, you have more than enough smarts at your disposal to just fucking start, okay? And I don't know anybody. I don't know, maybe I'll ask you, do you know anybody who's won big, that sat around, that waited on perfect, that waited on someone to come save them, that waited, whether it be some of the shit that I used to do. I wouldn't go to the gym until I had a workout partner, until I had this equipment. I couldn't play golf until I had the best clubs. I couldn't launch my business until my website was perfect. You know what the fucking funny thing is? I'll give you something. Outsource CMO, most of our clients, in fact, I would say, we worked with 120 businesses. I would say that less than 10% came through our website. That will show you the stuff that I thought was important actually wasn't fucking important. And that's the funny thing about this. You actually can't plan. You can't foresee half the shit that's going to happen once you start moving. In fact, most of the stuff that I'm working on now, I could have never planned. Okay? Just grabbing coffee as per usual, by the way. So the question is, if you're someone who wants to be a high achiever, if you're someone who wants to win big, if you want to model people who've done fucking big things in life, ask yourself this: do you think they fucking sat around waiting on perfect? No, they didn't. Because they knew if they waited on perfect, they'd be waiting forever. Just like I was. Right? And that's what I want to help you avoid. And I know the situation that you might be in. I know it too well. I can think back right now, so many nights where I sat up in the co-working space in my local town, pondering, was this good enough? This isn't good enough. Oh shit, no, I need to perfect this. And you know what the crazy thing was? All I wanted to do was make traction. All I wanted to do was win a client. All I wanted to do was increase my monthly retainer. And I don't know what it was. It was like this perfectionism inside me that's very hard to put to words. It was like I was caught between a rock. I was on this fucking roller coaster that I couldn't get off. And the only way I can describe it was like I became addicted to procrastination. I became addicted to almost like staying stuck. I became addicted to overthinking, to convincing myself that I needed all this fucking I needed all this bullshit that wasn't actually going to move the needle. And it's kind of, it's just, as I think of it, this is probably a terrible metaphor, but it's like, no, I don't want to say a certain word, but it's like, you can make this out for yourself, but basically you go so far, you're just about to break through and then you stop, right? It's like a form of mental masturbation. You're just like going to the edge. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying this. And then you back out. And I think for me, not only was I caught between this kind of gap and I never pulled the trigger, I think it was because I was afraid to actually go and get what I deserved, go and get what's mine. I was afraid that I would have to leave my old shoes behind and step into the shoes of the person that I knew I was worthy of. I personally think that's what was wrong. It was like I didn't have the courage. Because think about it, I used to think, it takes money to make money. It takes a website, it takes connections. I'll tell you one thing now with regard to making money, it takes courage. It takes courage to fucking make money. This ain't a make money podcast, I'm just telling you in terms of that experience in my life. Okay? And overthinking, waiting on perfect, it never got me anywhere. And it got to the point where staying in that limbo period, actually, I started to incur the cost. I started to pay the price, because there is a price for procrastination. There is a price for waiting for perfect. Number one, it's losing. That's the first one. But what is losing? For me, it was racking up debt. It was feeling ashamed, having to have other people support me, being evicted from my apartment, gaining weight, becoming someone who's all fucking talk. That's what happened to me. I became the guy that just always fucking talked and never got anywhere. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me until I realized that waiting for perfect will keep me trapped forever. And waiting for perfect will keep you trapped forever unless you realize this. Waiting for perfect is like a car in neutral. You can fucking put your foot on the accelerator. You can rev the car. But unless that car is in gear, you're going nowhere. Right? Think about that for a sec while I have more coffee. So, waiting on perfect is like trying to drive a car in neutral. It does not matter how hard you put your fucking foot on the accelerator. The wheels aren't going to turn. The wheels aren't turning, right? You can fucking put your foot flat to the mat. You're going nowhere unless you put that car into fucking gear, right? You don't even have to press hard once it's in gear. Just put the fucking car into gear and you might start moving. You're burning energy. Make no mistake about that. You're gonna burn fuel, but you're not gonna go anywhere. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. Whether this be you right now, whether that be me, I know for sure it was me. I was fucking burning all the fuel. I was burning all the petrol, right? And I was fucking drained. I was exhausted. And when I realized this, here's how I dealt with it. The first thing was, I had no choice. I was forced, which is why I'm trying to help you make sure that what losing could mean to you doesn't happen. And the first thing you have to do is trust yourself, right? You have to trust yourself that you can figure it out. That's the first thing. Have fucking courage to take the first step, even if it's imperfect. That's what you need to do. That's step one. Second step, your brain works like a torpedo, like a fucking hypersonic missile going to hit a target. This is how the brain works. If you go off course, if you fuck up, the brain will correct itself. The brain will correct itself, okay? It's feedback loops, constant feedback loops. And most of these feedback loops, you can't plan. You can't plan. The amount of feedback loops, the amount of feedback loops that I've gone through to get to where I am now, I'm telling you, if you had said to me 2.5 years ago that I would be running a health and performance company, right? Making elite performance possible for everyday people, helping people discover what's possible at 100%, right? So they don't have to wonder what life could have been. If you had told me that's what I'd be working on, I would have said, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't plan that shit. You just have to get moving, right? You need to have faith in yourself. And what happens is you grow smarter and you learn, right? Write that down. First one is have courage that you can figure it out, right? Take a chance on yourself. Take the first step, even if it's imperfect. You adjust as you go. And as you adjust as you go, you start to grow smarter, faster. You start to gain confidence. And eventually, we talk about this. Confidence is a stepping stone to certainty. But you have to start fucking moving. You won't get certainty from sitting in a parked car. You'll never be certain. In fact, sitting in the car, if it's in neutral, rev the car all you want. You're going fucking nowhere. You're going nowhere the same way I did. All right? Now, the interesting thing about this is, I have wrote down here because it's quite funny. Once you do this, you'll surprise yourself. You'll surprise yourself. As I said to you, I couldn't have planned, I would say, 99% of what's going on in my life right now. Never could have planned it. So, if what I've done, if I'm enjoying my life and what I'm building is like stuff that I could have only ever dreamed of, but it wasn't even in my mind, couldn't have planned it, what are you missing out on by not moving forward? What are you missing out on? Right? You're not finding direction. It actually comes at a cost. You sitting there trying to perfect this. I'm telling you, I've done it. I've sat there 6.5 years, went nowhere. Right? Just took a fucking chance on myself. And that's what you need to do. Right? Now, once you do this, I want to talk to you about the thrill. The achievements are great. the achievements are great, making money, getting in better shape, all that type of stuff. It's amazing. But you want to know what the best part is. The best part, and ask anybody who wins big, any winner at all, any high achiever, any elite performer, anyone who's ever done something monumental, they will tell you this. It's the fucking thrill of being in the trenches, right? That's what I live for. It's the fucking thrill. It's like being in the game. Dana White said this. He said, some days are good, some days are bad, but you just have to get in the fucking game. And I'm telling you, if you just get in the fucking game, you'll become addicted to this shit. I'm telling you, that's what happened to me, right? Obviously business went on, worked with over 120 clients, blah, blah, blah. You heard all this stuff about the health, right? This is just me, right? And I have so much more to go, but I love just being in the flames, almost like the way a fireman, they belong in the heat, they belong in the fire, right? You need to fucking put yourself in the fire. You need to put yourself in the fire. You need to fucking start forging the life that you want. All right? Does that make sense? And the beautiful thing about this is, I mentioned for me, I carried a lot of shame. I was the guy who was all talk. Beyond all of that, you become known as the guy who fucking gets shit done regardless. You become known as the woman who gets shit done regardless. Is that what you want? Right? Because that's who I want to be. I don't want to be the fucking person sitting around, waiting on perfect to come. Oh, I didn't start my business because, this happened. I had no money. But bro, shut the fuck up. Do you not want to be the person who starts their business with nothing that defied all the odds? Do you not want to be the person who fucking goes to the gym, loses all the weight, gets in better shape, right? And start from such a fucking hard place, right? That's a way better come up story. Right? And that's how I feel now. It's great just knowing that it does not matter what you do. It does not matter what happens. The externals always happen. The externals always moving. I've accepted that. I'm the fucking variable. I'm the variable. You control whatever you want. It does not matter now. Right? That's the level you need to get to. But you're not gonna fucking get there sitting still. Alright? You want to be someone who takes control. It does not fucking matter. You could throw anything at them. That's the person that I know you want to become. That espresso went fast. So, remember this. You wait on perfect, you wait forever. Right? Remember that. Perfect is never coming. Perfect does not fucking exist. You wait on perfect, you wait forever, right? Winners don't wait on perfect. Winners execute regardless of circumstances, even if shit's not going to plan. Even if there's nothing, right? No excuses, right? Winners execute regardless. And most importantly, you need to remember this. You don't need to be flawless. All you need to do, think back to the car. All you need to do is have the courage to put the car into gear, right? I'm telling you, sitting around doing fucking nothing, doing this mental masturbation shit, telling yourself that you need this, that, and the other in order to fucking make it, right? It's the equivalent of sitting in the car, in neutral, revving the fuck out of the engine, right? Burning fuel, but going fucking nowhere. That's what waiting on perfect is the equivalent of. That's what it's like. Sitting in a fucking parked car, going nowhere. So what I would do if I was you, I would take one step at a time. Take one step at a time. Even if it's not even if you don't think it's the right step, just get moving. Back yourself, right? Bit of belief. It all starts with fucking believing in yourself. Belief becomes before ability. Okay? Belief comes before ability. Friction before momentum. We spoke about that in the episode the other day. Right? This is the way it's fucking meant to be. This is the way it's meant to go. You're not meant to have it all figured out. In fact, think about how boring that would be if it was all figured out. Think about how fucking boring waking up would be if you knew that it was all going to go to plan. That's not the way it's meant to fucking go. That's not the way it's meant to go. You're meant to have a fucking roller coaster right? Sorry, you're meant to be on a roller coaster of emotion, right? That means when you get to the fucking top, it's so much sweeter, right? So whenever you're sitting there twiddling your fucking thumbs, you don't want to do it, you're doing this mental masturbation shit, edging yourself. Sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying that, but fuck it. Think back to the car and then take the first step, right? Trust yourself. Jump in the deep end. You'll be surprised. You'll be able to swim. You'll be able to swim. And doing that, I think not only will you surprise yourself with how much traction you get, first of all, I say that from my own experience, but you'll be saying, fuck, the overwhelming majority of this shit I wouldn't have been able to plan, right? It might be fucking small progress, but it's movement, and that is the key, right? So execute regardless today. Don't fucking wait on perfect anymore, because it's not coming, right? It's not coming. I appreciate you. And I want to say a massive, massive shout out to one person in particular, as well as all of you guys, but one person in particular. He's going to know what I'm referencing, but I told him, I said, you put a big smile on my face today, and I mean that, man. I mean that with my heart. I have goosebumps on my arm as I say. I'm so happy for you. A good friend of mine got some great news today, and yeah, man, that made my day. That made my day. But even look, I didn't want to fucking show up today. What do? I execute regardless. Is my mood perfect? No, it is what it is. Just fucking show up, right? You'll surprise yourself. Do that. Surprise yourself for me, right? I appreciate you. You know, I say all of this with love. All of this with love. Right, until next time, execute regardless. Winners win. Fuck half-assing.